come build with me this medieval castle, except the plot twist is I didn't buy the castle kit. So some background information. For a long time, the only form of The Sims that I had was base game. I bought it when it was on sale for $5, and I kind of looked at the paid DLC model as a scam that I wasn't gonna fall for, so I was like, I will never buy any DLC for this game. But then I started watching a lot of Sims YouTubers, specifically people that built in The Sims, and I saw all the extra content that came in the packs, and I was like, okay, it might still be a scam, but now I want it. So I bided my time thinking about which one I would get, and then I noticed they go on sale a lot, and they have that bundle thing where you can get an expansion pack, a game pack, and a stuff pack all together and then get a discount on all of them. And so I kid you not, I literally had a spreadsheet mapped out of all the packs that went on sale and how much they went on sale for and how I could bundle them to try and maximize my enjoyment per dollar. So everything I've ever bought for this game has been on sale, but the thing about kits is they never go on sale and you can't bundle them. They're always $5, which isn't a lot, but they're also kind of small. So I've just kind of really struggled to actually purchase a kit. So when they announced the castle kit, I knew everybody was going to be making castles, and I wanted to join in and have fun, but I still had my reservations about buying a kit. But then I was like, there's so much content in this game, surely I could make a castle with what I already have. So like the stone wallpaper that I'm using right now is from Jungle Adventure, and it has this gorgeous mossy swatch. Perfect for a castle. But then the problem is, it doesn't necessarily match anything. You can see I've laid out these fences to try and make that like trim on the top, and nothing looks quite how I want it to. You can see me messing around with roofs here because I thought that might work a little bit better, but I couldn't quite get a shape that I liked. But honestly, I just really wanted the fences to work. I thought it would look so cool. This is kind of the struggle that I faced throughout this whole build, is we have so many cool items. Like you can see in the front yard, we have these gargoyles from vampires, we have all of these cool, rustic, medieval looking fences, but just none of them quite work. But as challenging as the exterior was, the interior was actually quite fun. The castle kit doesn't come with any interior stuff or any furniture, which means for the whole interior, I was not at a disadvantage by not having the pack. So I started with the kitchen in this little round section, and honestly, kitchens are really hard on round and diagonal walls, so I added those triangular bump-ins to make it an easier shape. And then I moved on to the entryway. I wanted it to be really grand, and so I widened the entrance a little bit and added a massive staircase. I went back to the exterior for a bit because I really wanted to do columns all around the castle, and there was even this lovely column from Romantic Gardens that I thought for sure would work. It matched the color swatch of the stone wall perfectly, but it couldn't go higher than tall wall height, so we couldn't use it, and I was devastated. Here's where I started to divvy out the floor plan. I thought it'd be cool to have 2 bedrooms upstairs, and then downstairs I snuck in a bathroom behind the staircase, and then thought that either side of the staircase could be a ballroom and a dining room respectively. Then in the little bump outs, we already put the kitchen, and then I thought the other one could be a study. Then I'm doing the downstairs bathroom. I thought it could be kind of moody. I used a lot of stuff from vampires, like this old-timey looking toilet, and the little toddler chamber pot from For Rent. I kind of struggled a lot with the plumbing in this build, because I was like, how realistic do I want to be? And the answer ended up being not very. At the day, I still wanted this to be a functional place that Sims could live and play, so we bent the rules of history a little bit. Oh, speaking of functionality, I built this on the Island Bluffs lot in Windenburg, and I didn't realize until afterwards that I couldn't change it into a residential lot. It's a special lot that can only be that one lot type. There's a couple others like this in the game, like the high school from High School Years and the onsen in Snowy Escape. So I should have seen this coming, but I didn't. So I thought I could make this a residential lot inside of these ruins. I thought that'd be so cool. But no, if you want to play with this, you'll just have to have your sim come visit the lot and then just pretend that they're living there. So other than that, it's fully functional. We have now come to the most dreaded part of this build, the windows. After looking at all the windows in the game, I settled on these stained glass windows from Get Together, because they were the only ones that like remotely fit, but they just didn't quite look right, which makes sense. The wallpaper's from Jungle Adventure, which is supposed to be more like ancient South American temple, whereas the Get Together windows are definitely more inspired by like Europe. So I wasn't surprised that they didn't mesh, but I was a little bummed. And then I wasn't sure what style to do them in. I've been doing a lot of townhouses lately, and those have a ton of windows everywhere. So out of habit, I started doing that, and then I was like, wait, is that what castles look like? Then I was like, but maybe castles are more dark and dreary, so I should take some windows away. But then they also don't have light bulbs, so how else are you supposed to get light if not through windows? And I went back and forth for a long time, and I ended up doing a lot of windows, but at least in a little bit more interesting pattern than I had started with. I especially like how they turned out on like the round bits, but like the stripes of windows aren't my favorite. Also, it wasn't until after I placed literally all of them that I decided I didn't like the color, so I had to go through and individually change every single swatch. Definitely an improvement though. The new wood swatch blends in much better. Now we move on to the bedrooms. Now I had this whole story going on here, as I do with all my builds, where this castle is owned by 2 siblings, and the 2 doors that I used from Get Together both have names. One is named after someone who's generous, and the other one says trickster. So I was like, what if the 2 siblings are like opposing? What if we have a good sibling and an evil sibling? So this is the good siblings room. We went with a lot of pastel-y purples, and that curtain from Get Famous actually worked really well and matched the Realm of Magic bed and rug perfectly. I think a lot of the stuff from Get Famous looks really gaudy, which has its place, but I wasn't expecting it to blend in so well with the medieval build. Then I needed to put a bathroom in this bedroom, because the only other bathroom we had in the house so far was downstairs and it didn't have a bathtub. Now the bathrooms are kind of difficult, because the only sort of medieval bathroom furniture I had was from the Vampires game pack, but I didn't just want to repeat that everywhere. So I mixed it up in here a little bit by still using the Vampire's toilet, but using a tub from Horse Ranch. Next was the rest of the room. I kind of wanted like a dressing area with maybe some sort of reading nook with a nice big rug. The problem was I couldn't find any big rug in the game that matched the purple swatches I'd been using. But Realm of Magic has these tiny hallway runners that came in the same purple swatch, so I sized them up to make a custom rug. I added some other stuff like some candles and then a little knitting loom, and then I wanted to start on the cozy book corner. I used this chair from Vampires, which I think is supposed to look like a coffin, but honestly it just looks like a crib to me. And then I did like a cozy little end table and some books. Next up was the study, and I actually go back and change some of this later, but I have to show you where it all started. The first thing I really struggled with was finding a desk that I liked, and I ended up choosing this one because it kind of reminded me of this old-timey one my grandpa used to have. And then I made everything this very rich brown to match, but in hindsight, all of the colors that I've been using so far have been very either cool toned or very pastel, so using such a vibrant brown just looked so out of place. Next up is the Trickster siblings bedroom. I went with more of a dark red color scheme in here to contrast the light purple of the other room. And I wanted to make the floor plan different, so I put the bed in the main area and then put the bathroom in that little corner. My chat was really helping me in this part of the build, giving me a lot of inspiration for historical accuracy. I added these curtains, which I imagined the nobility could bring down to give them privacy. And then I added these raised platforms on either side of the tub for some extra shelf space. On top of which I put a candle, a jug, and some beer, because I thought that could be fun to have in the bathtub. I also added a sized down jar of olives, because it kind of looked like a potion, I don't know. And then I added salt and pepper as kind of bath salts. Bath salts and pepper? It was silly, but like what else am I gonna put? Then similarly in here, I wanted some sort of living room book nook space as well, and so I added a fireplace that could kind of be that central location, and then a dresser, a tapestry, and some other knickknacks to kind of fill out the space. And then I used this corner rug from Get Famous. Honestly, I used a lot more Get Famous in this build than I was expecting. It kind of came in clutch. With that bedroom done, I added a telescope outside and moved on downstairs. We still had the ballroom and dining room to work on. I had set aside these chairs earlier when I was working on the study from City Living, because I knew I wanted to use them in the dining room. Something about them just feels very cathedral-y, which is surprising because that's not really City Living's vibe. And then I added a little cornucopia on top. Then it was time to work on the main entryway. I really wanted to do these beautiful stone statues, but there just wasn't quite enough room. So I had these two fairies kneeling out front instead, and then on the inside I put those metal statues because those fit better. Next up is the ballroom. It was so funny to be making this because yeah, the dance floors are functional in The Sims, but they're not going to be doing like traditional ballroom dancing. But even still, I was surprised that there was a marble swatch of the dance floor, so I put that in twice next to each other to make a nice big dancing area. You also may have noticed that I put a gramophone in there, and I know what you're thinking. Gramophones are not very medieval. But I was worried that the Sims aren't able to dance to piano music, like when someone's practicing, so I put a gramophone in just in case. So picture this, I'm on my second day of streaming, the interior is completely done, the exterior is mostly done, and I actually went through and did landscaping. I added a graveyard, I did terrain paint, I did plants, I did a big tree. You should be so proud of me. I actually really like how the graveyard came out. Vampires has a lot of really cool swatches of the gravestones where they're like tilting in different ways out of the ground, and so it actually added a lot of variety there. Then in that back little nook, I put the wishing well from Romantic Garden. And then my dream for this outdoor courtyard was that it could be like a garden for the chef to like grow herbs and stuff. And I know that it's possible to get pre-grown plants from Debug, but I was running out of time and I was struggling to figure it out, so I just put flowers there. But if you actually play in this lot, you can replace it with herbs. So I wanted to pop back into build mode and give you a full tour. First we have this nice entryway where you're greeted by the gargoyles both in front of you and above you. It's a little bit threatening, but it's fine. Then as you enter, you have knights on either side of you. Going to the right downstairs, we have a nice big dining room, lots of natural light from the windows, as well as a fireplace to keep you warm. Then here's the kitchen. I added a debug jar just to imagine they're storing something. And as I was saying, it leads out into this nice garden where the chef can get all the herbs they might want. Plus laundry. I forgot I added this like off-the-grid laundry system in here. That's pretty cool. If we go out the back, we can say a stop by the wishing well and sell our soul, which is right next to this graveyard I was talking about. It came out really well, and the gravestones are from Vampires, whereas that statue is from Jungle Adventures. but they match like perfectly. I guess stone is pretty easy to match. Then back inside, if you'd gone left at the entrance instead, you would have walked through the ballroom, played on the piano, relaxed on the purple bench, had a peek into the study. That skull thing especially reminds me of the rose from Beauty and the Beast. And then what's this? The bathroom. And that's everything downstairs. Of course, they're still upstairs. A very cozy landing now into the generous siblings' bedroom. Gosh, it looks so pretty and purple in here. And if you look over the bed, you can see how tall the walls go. Looks so cool. Then here's the rest of the room. Very cozy, very beautiful view. I like it. Then here's the bathroom. Look at the sunlight beaming through the window. That's gorgeous. Now for the other bedroom, belonging to the trickster. Very red. I like these suitcases from Werewolves. I think it means he travels a lot. Our cozy living room with a lovely tapestry. And our final bathroom. This one really feels like royalty. It's so spacious and grand. I love it. And that's the whole build. I streamed this live on my Twitch channel, so come say hi sometime. And as always, have a lovely day. Bye!